It's raining. You probably can't tell, but it's raining in Los Angeles. I know it sounds stupid because I am from Florida, so it rained almost every single day, so it was like nothing new to me. It reminds me of home so much. Today, we're gonna talk about how to find your unique voice in 3, maybe 4 easy steps. Right now in the digital era, making art, making a podcast, doing a cooking channel, making music, making movies has been easier than it ever was before. But because there are so many people doing it, it's more important than ever to not just create media, and not just to create media that stands out and performs and does well, but it's important to create media that feels unique and true to your true artist voice. For a very long time, being unique was one of the only things I had going for me. I hadn't hit a lot of success in music. I hadn't figured out a way to increase the quantity of media that I was putting out, but I knew for sure that I was always really unique. A lot of people think uniqueness is just some random thing that you're just born with. Like you come out of the womb and you're just a unique baby. And sometimes you are, but uniqueness is something that you can actually learn, believe it or not. Let's just get right into it. Number 1, the easiest way to start finding your unique voice is repetition. If you're a person who just makes one thing a month, one thing a year, every now and then I do this thing, it's not gonna work. In order to find your unique voice, you have to figure out what your voice actually sounds like. That means writing 100 songs, writing 10 scripts. Whatever your medium and your craft is, you have to find repetition. The reason why repetition is so important is not because of the practice of the skill. We're not talking about how to be a better chef or a better screenwriter or a better musician. We're talking about how to find the uniqueness in it. But you can only do that when you have so much work that you can look at to do the comparison and see where things are similar and where things are different. I have written and produced so many of my own songs and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of demos that you guys will probably never hear. There are through lines in all of them. Even when I go into sessions with other producers, I'm able to explain to them what makes my sound unique so that when they're helping me produce a song, they already know the elements that are required to make it a Bronze Avery song. One of them is I like auto-tune. No surprise. I'm a great singer, but I just love the sound of my voice through auto-tune. It's something that makes my music unique to me, especially because of the way I sing. It started off as a time saver because I was so over having to like melodyne or flex tune every single note to be perfect. So I was like, I just want the notes to be perfect like immediately. I just don't care. And then I started leaning into it more and more and more, and it kind of became a part of my unique sound. Now, does auto-tune make me a unique singer by default? No, there are thousands of people who use it, but it's one piece of an overall recipe that creates the unique you. Through repetition, not only do you strengthen your craft and your technical skills, but you also strengthen your artistic brain, and it also becomes way easier to make art this way because you already know the recipes that help create that final product. But you're like,
Bronze, it is just so grueling for me to sit down and just make stuff sometimes. Like, I just don't always feel like it.
I hear you. And that leads me to step 2. You gotta make a project. Making projects is one of the easiest ways to figure out your unique style within that project, within your own self, and also just to get some practice in and that repetition that you need. In 2021, I started a side project called Hidden People. I was searching for a different outlet. I was feeling very burned and scorned by being a Black pop star. I feel like people just weren't getting it, and I was like, what if I was just totally anonymous? Like, what would that feel like? What would that sound like? When I made this project, I gave it a lot of parameters. I had to put out a song every single month. Didn't matter if it was the end of the month, the beginning of the month. Sometimes I was really good about it. Sometimes I was like, ugh, but I never missed a month. They were all around like a minute and a half. Some were 2 minutes, but most of them were really, really short. Another parameter was that I couldn't overthink it. I didn't spend hours and hours writing the song. Usually I just made the beat super fast. Didn't care if the lyrics 100% made sense. I just knew I needed to like get this expression out of me. Also at the time, I was not really a full-fledged producer. I was playing around with the idea of it. I knew how to use Logic. I knew how to get an idea from beginning to end, but I was nowhere near the production level that I am today. I started in January, and by the end of the year, I had an album. I'm actually looking at the album right now. This is the product of 12 months of work. It's called Don't Let It Die by Hidden People. Came out at the very end of 2021, I believe. This album, this project truly changed my life, but it was also how I found my unique voice. It made me such a stronger producer. I learned a ton about myself emotionally, and I transferred a lot of what I learned from this project into my own artist project. No matter what this is for you, making a short film, starting a YouTube series, joining a dance class, you need some type of project because it'll help track your progress as you grow, and it'll also help you find these through lines in something that's actually published. I honestly do not know where my life would be if I did not start this random project in the middle of COVID. Number 3, appreciation with a twist. The Hidden People idea started because one of my favorite artists, Coda Banks, she did a behind the scenes video of how she made one of her new songs, and it was a very old demo that was super slow, and she went with the producer and they sped it up and they made a whole new song. I was so inspired by that, and then I put my own twist on it. I was like, well, what if it wasn't my song, and what if it was just a side project? What if the songs were really short? What if I had to do it every single month? It's appreciation with a twist. That's not just a tip on how to find your unique voice. That is also a tip on how to make really good art. All art has to take inspiration from somewhere, right? Someone didn't just wake up one day and was like, rock music. What makes really compelling, great art and unique art is when you are inspired by something and you don't just regurgitate it the way that AI can just see art and it just regurgitates it back. You want to take that and you want to add a twist to it. That's what makes something unique and makes it you. It's okay if you want to do bossa nova music. Maybe you have auto-tuned vocals. Something brand new. This also gives consumers of your art something to grasp onto when they're explaining it to other people. Oh, there's this really cool country artist, but he mixes a lot of his religious trauma in the music, which is something that is not common in that style. It's their own unique voice. And this is step 4, but it's not really step 4. It's more like 3.5, which is it's okay to be different and for it to not necessarily resonate immediately. When I released this project, it had basically no streams. The point of being unique is not to be a massive mainstream success immediately. Sometimes you have to start off, you have to be different because somebody has to be different first. Once your social proof goes up, then everyone thinks you're a genius afterward. Nobody gets it until everybody gets it. Nobody thinks it's cool until everybody thinks it's cool. That's just how being a unique girl works. You have to be the first person to wear the shirt backwards and wear the ugly kitten heels, and now kitten heels are all the rage. Someone has to dare to be different first. And that means you might walk a little bit of a lonely road when you are being unique. And here's where most people flop. They start off being unique, they think it's really cool, they do a couple things here and there, it doesn't resonate, they quit. You're also teaching your brain and your body that when you are unique, you are not good. So therefore you start creating things that are not good. The trick is you have to be consistent. If you stick with it long enough, you will begin to reap the benefits. But if you leave too soon, you'll never see the flowers actually grow. Let's get into the weekly update. The update is I'm kind of throwing it all to the wind. I'm putting out an EP. My target date for the release is November 7th. New single next week, new show next week, new birthday year next week. Pretty much a week or two after that, a whole new EP. And I am going to include that song that I made in last week's video. Here's some quick weekly faves. First one is a new album by Amber Mark called Pretty Idea. I love an album where you can just hit play at the top and it just goes through and it's just such a beautiful experience. And another weekly fave is just going out of your way to make new friends. Sometimes when you're making friends, you have to be persistent at it. People like comfort. Meeting new people is not always comfortable. In fact, I have met some of my best friends of all time, some of my greatest industry connections through the internet and through persistence on the internet. Everybody wants to make new friends, but sometimes it's just inconvenient. All right, that is it for this week. Love you guys so much. Oh my God, a fucking spider. Okay, I have to go handle that. Bye.